how much should you spend on an engagement ring? Before popping the big question to her, this is likely the big question you're asking yourself. There are two main questions people have when it comes to purchasing an engagement ring. What should it look like, and what's it going to cost? In this video, we're going to dive into what's outdated when creating your budget for an engagement ring and what makes the most sense now. Now, the first thing I want to say right off the bat is this. Never purchase an engagement ring for investment purposes. It's an emotional investment, not a financial one. These methods will be useful for figuring out how much should you spend based on what our past clients have said they've found to be really helpful. Okay, let's get to it. Number one, determining a budget range based on your preferred diamond size. So often clients will come to me already having an idea of the diamond size that they want. So then it's simply a matter of determining whether or not their budget is aligned with that size. So knowing the general design you want to propose with, we talk about diamond quality options, which will make the price fluctuate up or down. Now, I want to point out that it doesn't matter what your budget is, whether it's $5,000 or $150,000, because it's really a matter of aligning your ring goals within the price range, and every client's budget is unique to their personal situation. So if you are my client, for example, with a $20,000 budget, once we've determined your desired carat size and ring setting is an option within this price range, then I would curate 2 to 3 gorgeous options in a range below and up to your max budget, so then you can decide if it makes sense to splurge at the top end or not. And if a client is just shy of hitting that carat weight that he wants to propose with, I'll explain what it would take to get there. So if it makes sense for his individual financial situation, he might consider slightly increasing the budget range. Now, I always advise clients, please don't spend more than you're comfortable with. It's just helpful to know what things cost as a baseline, so that way you can make the most informed decision on what number to end up at. Often our clients are beyond their 20s and they know they're planning to get engaged at some point, and she's given hints at what her dream ring would be. So in some cases, she's completely involved, and other cases, she's just dropping hints. Which brings us to number 2. What if she wants a ring that feels financially uncomfortable, or flat out one that you can't afford? Now, some people might say she should be happy with whatever she gets, while others say they waited a long time to get engaged and she wants it to be her dream ring. If this is the case, you should just sit down and have a candid conversation with her about it, because you want to know what her expectations are and what makes the most sense for you as a couple, because it's important that you and your partner manage financial issues together in an open manner in case there's a disconnect. But whether you can have a conversation with her depends entirely on if this is going to be a surprise ring or if she's involved in the creation process. If she's involved, you could start off the conversation just by being honest that you can't afford the diamond size she wants right now, but you still want to create a ring that she loves in order to symbolize your relationship. So you could mention that a future ring upgrade would be possible when you're in a better financial position. Alternatively, you can have the conversation with her about natural diamonds versus lab-grown diamonds, because the pricing for lab diamonds is considerably less than a natural and may yield the size that she wants within your budget. That being said, if she loves the idea of a natural diamond being made by the earth over millions of years and now it's going to live on her finger, then she'll have to decide what matters most to her. When it comes to lab-grown diamonds, there's no visual difference, but there is a huge difference in upfront cost and value. And like all technologies, the prices will likely get even less expensive over the years, but they're too new within the market, especially during the last several years when they really made a splash, to really know what's going to happen with them. But they are chemically and physically and optically the same as mined diamonds. The main difference is how they're grown. As an artist, I don't really have a strong opinion on them either way, because I'm going to make an absolutely gorgeous custom setting for it no matter how it originated. But it does simply make achieving a larger diamond much more accessible within whatever your budget is. Now, I've had some clients absolutely love their lab diamonds, and others say they just can't get excited by them. For example, one client wrote to me, I'll read it to you here. She said, "I can't get it out of my head that it's not fully genuine, even though I know it has the same chemical properties of a natural diamond. There would be a bit of me hiding my ring out of shame when I would wear it, because I don't want anyone questioning me about it. And I'd feel more proud wearing a natural diamond because I know it's 100% natural and not created by a man in a lab." So, you know, as I've said, we've had clients absolutely love their lab diamond, and often couples are having these conversations in advance, so you just want to be sure she's on board with that. Number 4, let's talk about future ring upgrades. When my husband and I got engaged, we were starting from scratch in life. And when we started dating, I was 18, he was 19, and we waited 8 years to get engaged. And he proposed with a half-carat halo ring that I was absolutely obsessed with. I picked out the setting and he picked out the diamond. And then on our 15th anniversary, I upgraded to a larger diamond because we were at a different point in life. So what I want to point out here is that there is zero correlation between the size of the diamond and the success of the marriage. Now, I want to cover an outdated method of setting your budget because you'll likely come across this in your research. The 2 to 3 month salary rule. When you're thinking about getting engaged, you might ask close friends what their ring cost, or you go to Google to look up general ring pricing, and you'll find that pricing is all over the map. But that being said, one topic that you're probably going to see pop up is the 2 to 3 month salary rule. I'm a bit of a goody two-shoes, honestly, so I tend to be someone who follows the rules. This particular rule is one that I absolutely believe was made to be broken. The 2 to 3 month salary rule is just marketing, and it was created by De Beers post-World War II. In the 1930s, De Beers began an ad campaign suggesting that buyers spend 1 month's salary on the ring. And then in the 1980s in the US, it became 2 months. So look, this strictly served the diamond companies, not necessarily you. So beyond the marketing, you have to ask yourself, how can 2 to 3 month salary be relevant across the board? Because it really depends on so many variables. I mean, the cost of living is diverse depending upon what city you live in. I mean, you have totally different costs of living in California versus Kansas. So I've had candid conversations with clients about this, and I've seen plenty of people go below and above that 2 to 3 month number. So that throws the pricing off if you're incorporating that value. So that rule was a guideline early on, but it's not applicable today. And here's what it comes down to. This ring, it's gonna mark one incredible moment of your life as a couple. So it's gonna hold incredible meaning. A colleague shared with me a story recently that I wanted to read to you. She said a couple just came in to pick up a custom ring that we made, and the timeline was tight since the husband wanted his wife to have it before he died. They were both here and they started to cry when they saw the ring. And that made me think about one of my family members who works for a nonprofit and referenced me being in a business of commodities. And I can understand why one would wonder if working in the jewelry industry is really helping anyone in a meaningful way. But I explained that I'm not in the business of gold and diamonds. I'm in the business of creating and honoring love stories, no matter what the price point is. See, the thing is, to me, jewelry isn't gold, it's not platinum and diamonds, it's love and it's joy and it's memories. I take my work really seriously. I've sat across from crying widows holding their hand as we discuss repurposing their wedding ring to carry on its sentimental value and honor their marriage, and just holding space for their grief and just being someone that they can trust. And at the same time, at the height of COVID, I helped a doctor who was the head of a university hospital's intubation unit create an incredibly gorgeous and meaningful ring for the love of his life, because he wasn't sure during that time if he would make it through unaffected, and he wanted to promise his future to her no matter how long that may be. I think about a pair of earrings that belonged to my grandmother, that when I wear them, somehow I feel closer to her. And my mom, she gave me a necklace to melt down several years back that she never wore anymore, and I couldn't bring myself to melt it. So it's just been sitting in our safe here. And recently, very recently actually, my family went through a scary ordeal where she had to have brain surgery. And I remember thinking, I was so glad that I didn't melt it down, because if something had happened to her, I really would have wanted to just wrap myself in this necklace that she had once worn. So you see, when it comes to an engagement ring, it's beyond the sum of its parts. There's a promise attached to it. It's so beautiful, and that's why I always feel honored when a client commissions me to create their custom ring. It's just because of what it represents. So bringing this back to what it costs and how much to spend on it, yes, the materials to create the ring come with a cost, but ultimately that's not what it's about. My recommendation would be to choose whatever number feels most comfortable for your life situation. And if you're looking for your very own custom ring, feel free to reach out to the studio, VanessaNicole.com. I would love to learn more about what you're looking to make, and I would absolutely love to exceed your expectations with it. In the meantime, I'm wishing for you a beautiful rest of your day. Bye, take care.